You are watching Co-op for Two. I'm Jesse. I'm here with Greg.
Thanks for having me on your channel.
This is your quick before you buy it review for Typhaon Wakes, the second expansion for Terra 2. Like Arama's Light, it's modular. It comes with 3 different components here: a set of new characters, a new mode of playing that we'll talk about, and a set of new tiles called a new mode, but focusing on new kinds of enemies.
So, you're only getting 2 new characters with this expansion. You're getting the Inventor and the Cartographer. The Inventor, on paper, seems really neat. You can deploy mines for an action, which when an enemy walks onto that mine, they'll explode. You can deploy a barrier, which helps you from losing hearts except by guardian attacks. And you can deploy a turret, which at the start of your turn, if an enemy was within 2 spaces of it in line of sight, then it will eliminate that enemy. Doesn't actually end up being quite as exciting.
It's harder to make use of.
Looks thrilling, but it's got its problems. And then the Cartographer, which is another very powerful revealer. You can use mapping for one action, which reveals a tile within 2 tile steps of your current location. However, you can kind of place them by breaking some of the rules, because you don't have to. You can place it within 2, so you don't have to be on a tile. So you can kind of fill in some of those back areas, as well as that you have the contradict passive ability, which is if you or another explorer would place a tile from the bag within 2 tile steps of your current location, you may return it to the bag instead. So even if it's not you, if it's another explorer, as long as they're within those 2 tiles, and it's a really bad draw for you, you can throw it back in the bag. You do lose that action, but it does allow you to work on making the map that you want to come out. So the Cartographer, another one of those very powerful revealing characters.
Okay, let's talk about the enemies and the new tiles. Everything in this mode, what is it called? Legion mode?
Yeah, Temple mode. Legion.
Is all about the enemies. So we've got 3 different kinds of enemies now. There's archers. They move more slowly. They keep their distance, and then they fire and shoot you at a distance. There's these exploding guardians that run much quicker. They'll get to you very quickly, and when they hit you, they explode and hurt everyone on that tile, but then they're gone. And then there's this very cool giant eternal guardian. You can't really kill him. He stays asleep until you get to the end to put the artifact, and then he wakes up and he sort of slowly rumbles onto your space, but the most you can do is knock him down and delay him. Then we've got new tiles where 3 are brought out at once. Again, these don't refresh, but they bring out different combinations of enemies at once. And then we've got a very interesting little tile here where if you roll a trap and trigger this trap while anyone's on it or around it, it triggers the emergence of a new enemy. Same rules, whatever's closest tile. And then it includes these replacement starting tiles where you would begin your mission with a starting exploding one and a starting ranged one. So mixes up what you have to face, and that really does change the way you play the game, having to deal with these different monsters. And then we've got
the last module that we actually, full disclosure, didn't play because it's not really of interest to us. It's a way to make it a competitive game. So one player would be operating what is normally, being run by the game mechanisms themselves. You have a deck of cards, and the ability to sort of be the antithesis to be a 1 versus many style game, like Black Secret for Ghost Stories did, or Pandemic's Bioterrors. So it's kind of something that they throw in, but it's not really of interest to us. So we didn't play it, and that's something that we're not going to be able to reveal to you too much about. But that is an option for you.
It doesn't look good, but we shouldn't opine on it. All right, so what's your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I mean, this is because we love Subterra so much. More characters, more game modes are great. The 2 new characters are definitely welcome, as they add variety to the previous expansion and the base game itself. Although they're not super compelling. The Legion Temple mode is fantastic, and when you mix that in with the other stuff, it's very combat heavy, and it changes the game immensely. And of course, you can put that in with the Arc and all sorts of different things to create a very different dynamic. And if you like those fighting characters, you definitely can use 1 or 2 of them, because it really changes the way you play.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I would recommend this with reservation. It's definitely the lesser of the 2 expansions from my standpoint. It's much more enjoyable to play with new characters, and the fact you're only getting 2 here, it makes it, and this is just a total waste for us. The new enemies really do require a different strategy, so that's worth it. But they do add some complexity to the play. I would say where we recommended wholeheartedly the first expansion, you could buy that right away if you like the game. I would maybe leave this a little later. Leave it till you've played through the main game a little bit. And if you wanted to skip this one, that wouldn't be the worst thing in the world.
Yeah.
Okay, so you might want to check out our long deep dive into Subterra 2 and the entire system and expansions touching on the main game, or see our quick before you buy it videos for Arama's Light, the first expansion, or the base game, and we'll see you at the next one. Here's a new way to play the game that we'll talk about, and a new set of tiles and enemies you can swap in.
Well, that's a whole new game mode.
This isn't a new
It's
game
called
mode.
Yeah, it's called Legion.
Well, it's got a name, but it's new enemies.
It's a new mode though.
We have to having to redo this? Is that what you're saying?
Well, I fucked it
What do you
again.
mean it's a new mode?
Temple. It's
anything.
called Temple mode.
I know,
Legion.
but so is the goddamn snakes. They're part of a new named mode, probably. You objected to me saying tiles and enemies?
I was
you want
trying
a
to-
new mode?
You can say whatever you want.
Not anymore, I
That's
can't. I gotta say it again.
Not a hill I need to die on.
All right, here we go.